Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra and to get the best battery out of that. Here are some tips and tricks for you guys. I thought I was going to name the video Ultra Battery Life, but I wanted to keep it relatively simple and straight to the point. My battery is currently charged to 100%. So if I go ahead, pull it up, I haven't worn it yet because I took it off the charger just so I could show you guys this. And as you guys can see, we're at 100%, right? First of all, shout out to you guys. I definitely appreciate the support from the last video that we did that actually talked about the most recent battery update that Samsung dropped for the Ultra to help optimize and stabilize the battery life. So first of all, shout out to you guys for the support on that. I definitely appreciate that. And so I thought I'd follow up because a lot of you guys had questions about how I got such good battery life on my Galaxy Watch Ultra. And as you guys can see right there, you see 3 days and 11 hours left. So basically 3.5 days of battery life on my Galaxy Watch Ultra. We'll see if that improves as this update continues to stabilize and optimize the battery. But I'm going to show you guys in this video how to get great battery life. First of all, I love this watch face. That will probably be my next video, is my favorite watch faces and how to customize some good watch faces for your Galaxy Watch Ultra, and of course would also apply for like the Galaxy Watch 7 or your Galaxy watches in general. But we're going to show you guys that in this video how to get the best battery life out of your device, and I'm going to demonstrate that using my Galaxy S24 Plus, just so it's a lot easier for you guys to see, and it's a lot easier in general to be able to get those to deal with the settings in or for the Galaxy Watch Ultra. And so the first thing we're going to really tackle is this first section here in watch settings, which is your modes, your notifications, and your sound and vibrations. This is the first part of this video. And so with modes, the reason why I think this is important is because I do sync it with my phone, meaning that at night when I have my sleep mode on, it's going to activate sleep mode for my watch. What that will do is A, improve any sleep tracking that may take place if I wear my Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra to sleep, but also my settings that I have for do not disturb, for more dimmed screen, unless I'm using always on display. And even then, it just dims into black and red, taking advantage of the AMOLED display, thus saving more battery life over the course of the night as well. And so that's why I use my sync modes with my Galaxy Watch Ultra with my Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. Notification is also going to be a big factor when it comes to your battery life. Why? Because when you get notifications on your phone, it's most likely going to transmit to your watch. So if your watch is constantly pinging with notifications, having some form of transmission on a regular basis between your phone and your watch, that's also going to seep battery life on your Galaxy Watch. So the best course of action is to come into notifications, click on app notifications, and really scrutinize, critique all your apps that you have and see what you can turn off. So for me, I have a lot of these turned off. As you guys can see, it's really just like super major apps that I would use or that I wouldn't mind getting notifications from. You see, I even turned off Samsung's messages and just kept Google messages on. I came through here and really cut down on the amount of apps that I need notifications from. Even with Waterminder, I may actually delete this off of this phone because I use it on my iPhone, and since it doesn't sync cross-platform, I don't need it on here, so I can actually turn that off on my watch especially. But come in here and figure out what apps you need to be in more control of and cut those notifications from transmitting to your watch. That will save you a bunch of battery life because you most likely may have some form of vibration on your phone. And even if you have it in silent mode, it's still pinging the watch, thus docking battery life. So definitely critique your notifications so that way you can save battery life that way as well. And as you see here, show phone notifications on watch. I show alerts when phone is not in use. And then I do sync my do not disturb with my phone, which will also work with my synced modes. Now, of course, in advanced, here I turn off the indicator on the watch just so I can keep my watch face clean. I do not have my notifications read aloud. I do show with details. I do not turn on the screen, and I do not auto turn on watch notifications for new apps when they hit my phone. These two are also pivotal because when activating the screen, you're going to activate the display. Battery life will then seep. So again, finding all these nice subtle ways saves you hours of battery life over the course of time. And so by coming in here and tweaking your notifications, you will be able to achieve that. And then of course, sound and vibrations. The Galaxy Watch Ultra has a very nice vibrational motor, and I like the very stern vibration you get from it. So that's why I do leave it in vibrate mode. I don't have it in mute or sound. But because my watch also doesn't vibrate that often, I'm also comfortable leaving it in vibration mode. So that way I don't have to worry about my battery life seeping on a regular basis. I do use short and strong. So that's also probably why I get a nice firm vibration. I let it basic vibrate for phone calls and basic for my notifications. In terms of system vibrations, it's just touch interactions and the dialing of the keypad, not the Samsung keyboard, and not when it's charging. And usually that's once you attach your little charging puck to the back of the Galaxy Watch, it will then vibrate, notifying that it's charging. All I gotta do is wait for my display to light up to let me know that it's charging. I don't need the vibration there. And then in terms of any of this, I do not have any system sounds on because again, it's primarily in vibrate. So that also saves me battery life. The speakers, all that is not active on my Galaxy Watch Ultra. Now, the next part is we're going to be talking about is the display and battery. Now, really display is where it comes in. I suggest you use adaptive brightness. Why? Because contrary to popular belief, adaptive brightness still takes less battery life than if you just left it on a constant brightness level. Let's say you left it on 40%. Well, it's always going to stay on 40% and it's going to seep battery much faster because you're using 40% of the display all the time. And that's when you're in light conditions, that's when you're in the theater, that's when you're in your room in the dark, it will always kick 40%. Whereas adaptive brightness adjusts according to your ambient light, meaning sometimes it will raise and jump to 50, 60%. Other times it'll stay lower around probably 35%. That in itself saves you much more battery life than actually having constant or a consistent percentage of brightness display kicking from your display. So I definitely suggest using adaptive brightness. And yes, I get this battery life with always on display turned on. I can still get 3.5 days with always on display turned on. If I turn this off, I probably would gain another day, a day, maybe 2 days worth of battery life if I turn it off. But I think a watch should always show time. Shout out to Michael Fisher for saying the same thing. And I do use raise to wake, and as a result of always on display being on, touchscreen has to stay active, which is fine by me. But if you do want to get more battery life and you don't care, you only want your watch to show time when you're looking for it, turn off always on display if you want to. You will definitely gain a significant more portion of battery life turning this off. I just like it turned on. My screen timeout is after 37 seconds of activity. I leave it in the middle. 15 seconds to me is too short. I like 30 seconds. Gives me enough time to actually see what's going on my display before it kicks back to the AOD. And then that's pretty much it here. I do show charging info when it's charging, but a lot of other stuff is not taking place. Now, battery-wise, as long as it's going to show me, because this surprisingly hasn't really been working since the update, and I would even almost argue since I've had to watch this thing is not working. So maybe I need to close the wearable app. But as a result of that, you guys may see I do not use power saving. I just let the watch do what it do. All right, so that's that section there. The next section is going to be about buttons and gestures and Samsung Health. And for buttons and gestures, I do use my quick button for Samsung Health. I do allow the siren, but I do turn off the double pinch. The reason why I turn off double pinch is because I don't really use it to its full. As you guys can see here, you can double pinch in places where you can use the gesture. And so that's with like answering phone calls, dismissing alerts, launching apps, control your music, and take photos. And although all that stuff is very fun, and I've used it, and it is actually pretty interesting to me, it works pretty well. I wonder how much better or worse it works than Apple's own double pinch fit feature. But for me, I don't have to use that, and I can just easily just tap on my phone. You can even use it to delete, notifications on the watch. But you still have to scroll down. So for me, it's like if I still have to scroll down, I might as well just use my finger and hit the delete button instead of just trying to scroll down just to then do the little double tap thing. So I turned off the double pinch. I turned off shake to dismiss and knock knock. I don't use any of that. I don't mind operating my watch with my finger. So that for those reasons, I turn those off, and since those sensors aren't being used, that's more battery life that I get to keep at the end of the day. Samsung Health, the most obvious of battery drainers. My heart rate and my stress are on manual only. Now, you do have other options such as every 10 minutes or measure continuously. And if you're a fitness head, you're probably going to want to use one of the other two. I would even argue you could probably do just the every 10 minutes while sitting still. And even I sometimes want to switch to that just to kind of keep myself, abreast of what's going on with my body. And same with stress. Stress only gives you two options, though, which is manual or measure continuously. This is the one I would probably argue to leave on more because measuring your stress throughout the day is probably better. But I have it on manual just in case if I feel like I'm being stressed, just to see if I am. I rather use it this way because, again, I get to keep more battery life to myself than it being drained on a regular basis because of my health tracking features. In terms of sleep, I only track sleep or blood oxygen. I do not detect snore or skin temp during sleep. I actually wouldn't mind that. It could cause a light to flash on the back of your watch. So I actually really wouldn't mind using the skin temperature during sleep if I use this watch to sleep. But I don't use this watch to sleep because it is bigger. Like if I had a smaller size watch, I would use that. But I'm not going to wear this really big watch to sleep. That's just for me personally. I much rather use a smart ring. Now, if it's on my wrist when I go to sleep, that's one thing entirely. But I'm not actively trying to wear my Galaxy Watch Ultra to sleep. And I don't use snore detection because since I do have a wife that also sleeps with me, snore detection could pick up her snoring and not mine. So this feature probably wouldn't work for me as accurately as I want it to. So that's why I just don't use that. But the skin temp I would use if I did use my watch to sleep. But blood oxygen is fine enough for me to use if I do decide to go to sleep with this on. So those sensors so that's the only sensor that I really have active on my Galaxy Watch Ultra. And then I do use the ages, which is fine. That's not a problem. I do not do any of that because I'm not a woman. And then I only have so many activities to be detected, which is just walking, running, pool swimming, and dynamic workout. That's it. No alert. And as we know, it takes several minutes of activity before it actually kicks in. So the only thing I allow to be detected, which allows those sensors to stay active, but I do have an inactive time, which is essentially 12 a.m. to 8:40 p.m. Now, what I actually could do is, because I know I'm not going to be working out like that late at night, if I want to, I can actually increase this and go from, 11, maybe even 10 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. because I'm not doing working out in that time period. So by giving me another 2 hours, this will probably also save me a little bit more battery life because it won't be trying to gauge any activity, won't be trying to send me any stand up, alerts because you've been sitting down or you've been inactive. I'm sitting down post 10 o'clock. So that's actually probably even better for me from the health tracking perspective to maybe gain a little extra out of my battery life for my Galaxy Watch Ultra. Now, the next section we're going to talk about is wallet and my advanced features and or device care, so on and so forth. This is kind of like the more smaller things that, again, could chip away at your battery life, but probably not much. First of all, I don't use Samsung Wallet on this watch yet because I don't want to set a passcode for it. That's literally the only reason why I have not activated Samsung Wallet on my Galaxy Watch Ultra, but I do plan on doing it soon so I can use it from my watch. I just don't want to set a passcode right now. That's why I can just pick it up and start interacting with you guys instantly with the watch because I don't have my Samsung Wallet activated yet. So that's probably saving me a little bit of battery life there. And then advanced feature wise, I turned off my disconnection alerts. I know when I'm not by my phone or my watch. So for me, I don't need my watch to ding. And that saves me, again, additional battery life because nothing is being triggered on the watch. And then I do not auto launch music controls or show the ongoing icon. I don't need that. I typically use a remote control when operating my stuff, or I'm on my phone, so I don't have to use my watch, or I have some earbuds in that do the controlling, so I don't even have to really use my watch to play around with content like that. So that's why I can turn that off. Now, in terms of device care, this works, thankfully. And as you guys can see, I get 3.5 days of battery life from 100% charge. Now, clicking on battery from here, it still seems like it's not really trying to work. I don't know why, but I'll try to figure that out in the background. Now, this watch is an LTE variant. I did get mine through T-Mobile, but as you guys can see, I don't use a mobile plan. So not using the LTE, not really harnessing the GPS in that way on this watch also allows me to get the most battery life I can out of my Galaxy Watch Ultra. And that is it. Of course, the last thing is always make sure your watch is up to date. So that way you get updates like the most recent one that addresses battery life to, again, keep your watch in the best shape it can be. And these are the features that I use for my Galaxy Watch Ultra. But my next video will be about watch faces. Hopefully this video helped you guys establish better battery life for your watch, so that way you guys can get similar time. And again, all those notifications that you may have dinging your phone, if you use a lot of the other features or sensors, health tracking, those things are going to add a dent and put a dent into your battery life in terms of how long this lasts. So just keep that in mind when you guys are using your watch, because that's why your watch isn't going to get the greatest battery life. It's going to be because of those features. It's not because you have a bad unit, right? It's not going to be because of that. It's going to be because of all those features that you use for your Galaxy Watch. All right. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this video. Do you use any of these features? Are you going to start using some of these features? The comment section is open for discussion. Again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, notification bell. It's all free. That way, it's videos. You and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. And also, don't forget to hit that super things button down there by the like and dislike button. Cash App and PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's way to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. It's your man Micah signing out. Until the next video, it's morphin' time. Wait for it.